Are you ready?
This is Radical TV and we're here at Donington Park, one of the UK's best loved circuits, for the 6th round of the Performance Direct Radical Clubman's Cup. Now this is actually the second time that Radical has visited Donington here this season, so a lot of the drivers have raced here before. It should be pretty close. It seems that once you've raced with Radical, it's difficult to stay away, and there are a number of drivers who do come and go throughout the seasons, but they do always seem to come back. We caught up with some of them earlier today. So Chris, you've been out of racing for about 11 months, is that right?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. 11 months where I haven't been able to come along to the meetings, just through work commitments mostly. And yeah, I've missed it. It's nice to be back. It's nice to be back at a dry Donington at the moment. Absolutely,
because it was raining here last time we were here, and you were going to come along to that one, weren't you?
Yeah, that was right. That was the first meeting of the year in April. I believe it was wet and dry, which seemed to throw a lot of the guys into a bit of confusion. So maybe it's just as well I didn't make that one, I don't know. But yeah, we've been quite lucky with the weather today. That's good.
Absolutely. And you did okay in qualifying. You're quite happy with your place?
Yeah, reasonably happy. Haven't been away from the car for so long. Reasonably happy. We're going to make a few changes for this afternoon, so hopefully we'll get a bit of time this afternoon and first race, and maybe make some more changes for the second. We'll see how the first one goes. But yeah, reasonably comfortable and reasonably confident for this afternoon. Last year we had narrower tyres on with the older wheels. This year we've got the wider tyres, so a little bit more grip there. We've got a new diffuser on the back, that's given us a bit more grip. We're just doing something with the gearing just now, and that's really it right now. But and Mark's been giving me some instruction as to how to get around the corners properly. so all in all, hopefully that'll help us, yeah.
So Paul, first race back for Radical this year.
Yes.
What kept you away?
Well, work commitments, the main one really. I did the first Donington Park this year and really enjoyed that. I meant to do a few more of them, but I had work commitments, and then my son was ill just before Snetterton, so I had to pull out that one at the last minute.
And how you find it being back behind the wheel?
Yeah, I really enjoy it, but struggling a bit with pace. Could do it being faster, but no, really good. Really enjoy it.
And how did you find you got on in qualifying?
Not as well as I'd hoped, but yeah, I still enjoyed it.
And when you were racing with Radical before, did you have the same car or have you changed cars?
No, same car.
Yeah. And have you changed anything in terms of the setup at all?
Yeah, I've done a few setup changes. Seems to have made me about a second a lap slower.
Wow, Graham, is all I can say about your new car. Amazing colour.
It looks very nice, and yes, I did choose it. So yeah, it's a great colour. Hopefully it'll stand out and people will be able to see me going round.
And how did you get on in qualifying?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Had a good time, well structured. Got some space to do some laps and got some better times in than before. So highest qualifying so far.
Oh, great stuff. And what was it that made you choose to get a new car for this race?
It was just time to do it. The old car needed some refresh work done to it, so took the option to upgrade the car and get a shiny new one. So.
And how have you found driving it? Is it different to the car you had before?
It's not hugely different. It's just kind of more confidence. Everything works a little bit better. The gear change is very nice, and you can just lean on it a bit harder and get better times, as I found.
And position-wise, what are we hoping for race one?
Well, we shall see where we get to. It would be really nice to get in the top 3 in the class, and that'll be a first for me, so that'll be really great.
So Jennifer, this is your SR4 behind us here. Just been out in qualifying. How did you get on?
Yeah, well, it felt a bit sloppy, but when I got back, apparently got a couple of seconds off my testing time yesterday, so I'm really pleased with that. Car's going very well. We changed around the setup yesterday, made it a bit stiffer, so I'm feeling really happy about how the car is, so hopefully it'll be a good race.
Excellent. And what position did you qualify in?
I don't know.
We'll find that out. Okay, and what have you changed to the car? What are the differences?
We just made it a lot stiffer, got some really nice new tyres, always helps. Yeah. Changed the driver around a bit as well, made her a bit better.
How did you do that?
Practice.
Any driver that's racing for a complete season with Radical actually has a chance to double their points for just one of their races, and this is something that they can choose on any race. James Abbott has chosen it today, and it means that if he does win his race, then he will actually double his points and potentially become the series leader. So James, it's a pretty exciting race day here for you, isn't it? You've qualified on pole for race 1 and second for race 2.
Yeah, good result. Really pleased with that. We're struggling a bit in testing. We found a bit with the car that seemed to help. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Excellent. And am I right in saying that if you win both of these races, or if you do quite well, you might actually go up in the standings to overtake Mark Boot?
I don't want to curse it too much, but fingers crossed. Yes. Points wise, I think I'm just about there. So yeah.
And you've put your joker in for this this race as well. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's everyone gets it. You get one joker in the year. It doubles your points at one round. You have to choose which round you play it on. I've gone well at Donington in the past, so stuck it on the car and hope for the best.
Excellent. Couldn't have picked a better race, I suppose, with your position.
Yeah, it was sort of a bit hazy whether to do it or not, because last time when I played it, I sort of spun on the first lap. So yeah.
So Mark, you've had a great year so far, and you're top of the standings for the Clubman's Cup.
Yes, but I don't know how long I'm going to live that for. James Abbott's playing his joker today and his pole, so I would think he'll take that from me today.
So that means he gets to double his points, doesn't it?
Yeah, double points, yeah. So I can try my best, but I ain't going to beat him, I don't think.
And are you happy with qualifying place today?
Yeah, I'm in front of Mark Abbott, and he's my nearest rival in the class. So if I can just maintain that lead, I'll get full points, which should keep me in front for the PR6 Championship.
So David, we're standing in front of your SR3 again. It's your second race out with Radical. How did you get on in qualifying?
Did quite well. Qualified 18th for the first race, 20th for the second. So that's quite an improvement on the last race I did. So quite pleased with that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And what are you looking to do during the race? Where do you think you'll be position-wise?
I think the most important thing for me with 4 races this weekend is to finish the races. That's the critical thing. If I can hold anything like 18th, 19th, I'll be really pleased with that.
And are there any changes you've made to the car since the previous race that you did here?
No, none at all. The car. I mean, I've used some of the guys from Radical to help me set the car up, and the car feels really well balanced. And fortunately, those guys take care of it, and I just drive it.
Get the fun bit. And with Radical, this is your second race. Do you feel slightly less nervous than before?
Marginally, I would say. Give me a few more races, but no, it's easy. The whole environment's easy. The first one's quite daunting, but I feel okay. Just half an hour away from the race, so. Yeah, not too bad, thanks.
We're here at the front of the grid for the start of race 1 for the Radical Clubman's Cup here at Donington. James Abbott is in pole and our guest driver Martin Brooks is in second, but the series leader Mark Boot is in 4th, so it's anyone's guess as to who can take the lead in this what promises to be a very exciting race.
Certainly should be, Lucia. As the red lights go out, we are away and racing here at Donington Park. It's a brilliant start from David Franklin, who makes a rocket ship getaway and gains several places the field, charged towards Redgate for the first time. James Abbott squirming for the early advantages. Martin Brooks, though, is taking the lead through Redgate for the first time. David Franklin well and truly in the midst of some frantic tussling in the midfield as the field sprint through Hollywood and then down the Crane and curves, a little bit of dust being kicked up. So it is Martin Brooks leading the way from Mark Boot, then James Abbott, and then just behind him is Mark Abbott as well. No relation, but making good progress too. A little bit of a moment, slightly lower down the order, a very slight spin there, but I think that he's going to recover without too many concerns at all, as at the head of the field, Brooks and Boot really beginning to sprint away here. You would have expected possibly the Pro Sport cars to be superseded by the pace of the Super Sports, but in the early stages it's the 2 Pro Sports leading the way, and the first of the Super Sport runners is James Abbott in 3rd. This is our Club Sport leader, that's Jennifer Ridgway, car ratio, riding car with her. Jennifer looking to get her season back on track, as Martin Brooks is just driving away here from Mark Boot, who has now got a James Abbott-sized problem. Immediately behind him, James Abbott looking to find his way through, and he in turn has got Mark Abbott right on his tail, and Tony Wells not too far back as well either, so out of the old hairpin, the 3 of them sprint, as Paul Hitchen, a little bit lower down the order, having a superb tussle. He chases down the car immediately in front of him. Hitchen returning to the series this weekend as they get into some of the slower runners, and James Abbott, he's gone up into 2nd place, so Abbott has gained that place on Mark Boot, who has now got Tony Wells homing on his tail. So Wells in the blue and white 35 machine chasing Mark Boot out of the Goddard chicane as the race leader. Brooks sprints through, he completes the lap and begins the lappery as well. So Brooks, as this race wears on, is going to try and build as large a gap as he can over James Abbott. Though Abbott, I just wonder if he is going to start to reel him in as the race progresses. Gary Ramsdale, who James is about to go past shortly in his pursuit of the race leader Martin Brooks. So they accelerate through Schwantz further back. Some superb tussling going on. David Franklin right on the tail here of David Burke in the 23 car, and also going through. Gaining the place there is Chris Blades. So Blades returning to championship. He's not lost his edge. He gains a position in the midfield as the battle for third continues to rage down towards Goddard's. Now, what can Tony Wells do? Can he pick his way past Mark Boot here? No, he can't. Boot brave and late on the brakes. Instead, Tony Wells looking to get a strong exit, possibly sprinting through to complete the lap and running down towards Redgate. But I don't think Tony Wells is quite close enough just yet. David Franklin and Chris Blades continue to do battle. David Burke just ahead of that queue as they flip-flop through the chicane, and David Burke gets a little bit crossed up there. Around he goes, quick spin. He's going to rejoin at the loss of a couple of places there, but no more. So I think he's lost 4 places in total, David Burke, as he rejoins. Right, the gap between the leader and second place is definitely coming down here. Martin Brooks is under real pressure now from James Abbott. Abbott has been inexorably closing this gap in throughout the course of the race. As wherever you look, there are good battles around the circuit as Gary Baxter looks to try and pull away from the car that he is fighting for position. Tim Porter in the red machine just finding they're busy lapping Gary Ramsdale as well, as we're going to have a change for third. Yes, we do. Tony Wells in traffic has gone through past Mark Boot, and now Mark Boot under real pressure from Mark Abbott as well, and they're caught up in the lead. The battle for the Club Sport leads. Jennifer Ridgway and Paul Hitchen continue their superb tussle. Ring car with Jennifer as she chases Paul down towards Redgate, but I think Paul momentarily has got the advantage. Paul Hitchen in the Super Sport class, Jennifer Ridgway of course in the Club Sport class, so they're fighting for track position and overall race position, but not actually class lead. So David Franklin continues his progress up through the field. It's James Sims who he is closing now. What can Jennifer Ridgway do about Paul Hitchen as they turn through the old hairpin at the moment? Not too much, but Jennifer having one of her strongest showings of the season here and looking to make some good progress. Right, it's all changed at the front because James Abbott has gone through into lead and Tony Wells has really played the track to his advantage. He's there in second. So Abbott and Wells, as we perhaps expected, coming towards the fore of this race as we move towards the closing stages. So 2 of the quickest drivers we've seen in the series all season long doing battle as more tussling going on throughout the field. This is a great race. There is just, wherever you look, plenty happening. It really is very dramatic, as is ever the case in the Performance Direct Radical Clubman's Cup. And into the final lap we go, and James Abbott continues to keep Tony Wells at bay here, with Mark Abbott having moved up into third position. Jennifer Ridgway continues to lead the Club Sport class, is making good progress through the field as well, out of the old hairpin final time, just making sure she tests the durability of the curbs as the fists on the pit wall signify another victory for James Abbott. So it's Abbott who claims the win and the Super Sport class. Tony Wells in second, Mark Abbott third, winning Pro Sport, and Jennifer Ridgway winning Club Sport. Great race.
James, that was really interesting race in parts. You changed position quite a few times, didn't you?
Yeah, I got up to lots of wheel spin on the start, so I had to sort of play catch up a bit with them 2 PR6s. They always sort of disappear on the first couple of laps, so just keep reeling them in really. There's lots of traffic, which sort of made it a bit exciting. And
race 2 obviously is happening later on this afternoon. Are you looking to do the same?
I'd like to, yeah. You don't go to a track to lose, do you? So yeah, same again.
Mark, congratulations, first in class. How are you feeling?
All right, reasonably happy with that. I mean, started a long way back and stayed third for most of the race, but just got the back markers on the last, or the run of the back markers on the last couple of laps. I think Martin had a car problem. Mark got tangled with the back markers, so I could just sneak past. But it's a shame we just had a touch, you know, just a slight rub with one another on the last corner. It's not nice, your mates, and you want to keep it sporting and everything else. But both cars look fine, so that's the good thing.
Jennifer, huge congratulations, up there on the podium and first in class. How does it feel?
Very much. It's great. It's a great achievement. I'm really glad I've got there before the end of the season. It's strange to think that a few months ago I was at Donington in my first ever race and not being able to finish. So it's awesome to come back here and get up on the podium. I'm really, really pleased.
And you were saying earlier when I spoke to you, you know, you've been practicing a lot. Obviously things have changed quite dramatically in a short space of time. What is it that you've kind of learned, or what have you changed in your driving?
Well, I think people are obviously always giving me hints and tips: brake later, go faster, step on it, turn less, turn more, turn here, turn there. But I think coming back to Donington, having already been here, is really nice because I spent the whole test day really focusing on things I could change, setting up the car differently. It was great. So really enjoying racing at the same venue second time in a row.
Brilliant. And how did your dad get on?
I don't know, I haven't asked him yet.
So Martin, you're the guest driver here at Donington for the weekend. How are you getting on driving Radicals compared to what you usually race?
Yeah, really well. Had a really good morning, qualified on the front row for both races, second for the first race, pole for the second, so really pleased to be doing so well on the first time out. It's my first race in the Radical Championship, and it was going pretty well in the first race.
And where do you usually race?
I race in bike sports for the 750 Motor Club, and I've raced for quite a few years in their RGB Championship. So this is my first year with slicks and wings.
Okay, and how does it compare in terms of the racing?
It's fast. I mean, these are quick cars, they got slicks, they got wings, the lap times are really quick. So the pace is really high, and the competition's tough as well. There's a lot of good drivers out there.
So here we are at the front of the grid for the Clubman's Cup Race 2 here at Donington. We've got Martin Brooks, our guest driver, in pole position, and James Abbott is in second. We've got a lot of really good contenders for this race, so it's going to be an exciting one. Let's get off the track.
The grid clear, Reverend TV presenters, we're ready for the off. It's Brooks and Abbott on the front row of the grid as the revs rise and away we go. It's a brilliant start from Martin Brooks, who streaks into the early advantage. James Abbott a little bit tardy away. It's going to bring Mark Boot and Mark Abbott into the mix as well as they charge towards Redgate for the first time. We sit in car once more with David Franklin as he has Jennifer Ridgway there just going around the outside of him, so Franklin not quite as good a start as in race 1 as they come down the Crane curves for the first time. It is Martin Brooks from Mark Boot, then it's James Abbott, then Mark Abbott is the next man up. So James Abbott, the relative loser from that start, as they charge down into the old hairpin for the first time. And we've got a couple of cars off. It's Bill Henderson and Andy Cummings, so Cummings together if you like, between the pair of them, the old hairpin. They're both going to rejoin. No problems for either of them, just a couple of lost places. They've got plenty of race time to regain those though. So Martin Brooks, having faded early in race 1, he'll be looking to go all the way through to the flag here in race 2. To help him in that, what he could really do with his Mark Boot, keeping James Abbott behind him for as long as possible. A little bit further down the order, we've got a good battle here. Gary Baxter and Andy Harwood, and it's Harwood who goes through, he makes the move there across the curbs. Well, that will have done his vertebrae no good, and it's also done his exit speed no good. It brings the rest of them into the mix. It's back at the front of the field. James Abbott has gone through and up into second place. So Mark Boot being demoted, he's now got Mark Abbott to worry about, hot on his heels. So it's Boot there in third position in the dark car, and then the red car just behind him coming shot now. That is Mark Abbott. Well, Gary Baxter has found his way through that particular tussle. It is Andy Harwood who's rather lost out. He's now got Tim Porter to worry about. He's the next car on his tail. It's David Franklin. He's also not too far adrift of that little battle as well. Through Schwantz Curve, such a quick circuit here at Donington Park, and the Radical drivers enjoying their machinery to the full through. It really does give them a chance to stretch their legs and their right foot. So the leading quartet, with Martin Brooks trying to maintain that gap to James Abbott, and then a superb scrap here for third place, Mark Boot and Mark Abbott, and Boot slows, and Boot's had a terrible extra chicane, and he pulls into the pit lane to get the car checked over. So Mark Boot, well, that's any chance of a podium finish gone, unfortunately for him. So we have got still Martin Brooks leading it from James Abbott, and a big gap back now to Mark Abbott in third position. The rest of the field then streaming down the hill. This is a good battle here between Darren Anley and Tony Wells. So it's Anley at the moment in the white and yellow and grey car, trying to keep Tony Wells at bay, and Wells looking every which way as they plunge down through the Crane curves. Also Richard Stables in that mix as Darren Matchell is in hot pursuit here of John Morris. So Morris well up in the club sport class. Darren Matchell trying to get onto terms with John. At the moment he's not quite able to do so, as the gap between the race leader and James Abbott is definitely coming down here. This is exactly what we saw in race 1, that Martin Brooks, having built that early lead, is just having it gradually chipped away by James Abbott, who's metronomic in the way he's lapping this Donington Park circuit, as this fantastic fight for fourth streams down the back straight, with Tony Wells just trying to pull away from Darren Anley, and Anley in turn has got Richard Stables in very close attention. So those cars continue to tussle as Darren Matchell continues his attempts to get onto terms with John Morris. That's not going to help his cause some, with Gary Ramsdale sliding through as well. Jennifer Ridgway also making good progress up through the order, as just wherever you look, battles going on. Chris Blades being not quite assaulted from all sides, but under attack from all sides, as Ramsdale makes the move on John Morris. So Morris down the back straight. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything about Gary Ramsdale, who has made that move stick. So Ramsdale is through. What can Darren Matchell do though? Through Gollards. So Ramsdale leads this little scrap. Then it's John Morris, there's Darren Matchell, as Matchell gets the power nice and early, and John Morris doesn't. They make contact, and that's a scary moment. John Morris. The car appearing to be inverted there by Darren Matchell, and yes, it has been. So John Morris and the marshals running to the scene, and fortunately you can see the helmet there, the white helmet. That's John Morris. He's out of the car, shows just how strong these radicals are. So John Morris walks away with barely a scratch, but the race has been stopped.
Well, it looks like car number 27 has run into a few problems. Just before they restarted, he had to actually, Martin Brooks had to leave the track. But it does mean this time that James Abbott has managed to get back into the lead again. So it could be that he has a double win with double points here today.
So James Abbott all on his own, the front row of the grid for the restart. The lights go out now, and away we go. James Abbott, a much better start this time. And he should be able to keep Mark Abbott at bay as they charge towards Redgate for the first time. And this restarted race, it's going to be really quite short because we're well into the race before the red flags came out. So James Abbott has done a good piece of the work here by leading through the early stage of the first lap of the restart as they plunge down the Craner curves. These cars make a superb sight, streaming through a quick downhill sequence of curves, then out through the old hairpin, and then here they come out of Coppice onto the back straight. And well, James Abbott, he's not having it all his own way here because he's got Mark Abbott right on his tail. And then just in behind him is Richard Stables, Tony Wells as well, and Abbott looking to the inside of Abbott there. So it's James still just ahead of Mark, and then Richard Stables coming under pressure from Tony Wells. Great, scrap this one now. What can Tony Wells do about Richard Stables? He's gone through is the answer, so he gains ground. There is Ian Charles, who is currently leading the club sport battle. So Ian Charles, number 11 car. Great to see Ian doing well this weekend at Donington Park, as James Abbott trying to build that buffer over Mark Abbott, but we're into the final lap of the race and that gap is still only about 2 car lengths. So James Abbott is going to have to keep pedal to the metal all the way through to check a flag here, because it is looking very close indeed. Some great battles again throughout the field. David Franklin, wherever you've looked today, he's been in the action, and he has now got Andy Harwood and Gary Baxter right on his tail, the 3 of them through the old hairpin, having a great old ding-dong with Harwood trying to pick his way through past Franklin. Now we've just got Goddard chicane to go, plus length to the back straight here, and James Abbott looks well on course here to the double this weekend at Donington Park in the Performance Direct Radical Clubman's Cup. Through the chicane he turns, and James Abbott has scored the double victory. Superb drive from him. Also Mark Abbott, an excellent drive for him. He wins the Pro Sport class with Ian Charles claiming Club Sport. It's been a great weekend's racing.
James, massive congratulations on your second win of the day. How are you feeling?
Yeah, really pleased. It's been a good weekend so far.
It really has for you, and it's been a bit of a fraught race just now, hasn't it? So how did that sort of kind of affect things for you?
Yeah, the PR6s again were fast off the line, so I had to sort of pick them off one by one. I think I was catching the leader. I'm not sure what happened on the restart, but sort of left me an open track and just get on with it, really.
And now you are the Supersport leader in terms of standings and points.
Yeah, pretty much. I got a little cushion there, so just need to keep it coming in the points, and yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get there.
And are you glad you picked today as your Joker day?
Definitely, yeah. I was a bit sort of shaky this morning because we weren't fast in the test, but definitely paid off.
So Mark, huge congratulations, second overall and winner of the Pro Sport class as well. How did you get on? Talk about the race.
First part of the race was quite boring. Just got away nicely, tucked in behind Mark Boot. So Mark Boot's home for the championship, but retired with a gremlin of some description. So I was third and not really much to do. So I drove it like it was a track day, just look after the car. And I was out there on my own and we get a red flag. So I thought, no, I can win this. So I go for the restart. Tried to go through James on the outside into the first corner. It wasn't going to stick, and just tracked him all the way. His car's extremely quick in a straight line. I could get him on the brakes, but just wasn't long enough. So yeah, get the points and keep the championship alive. But James has got, I think he played his Joker today, so he's got quite a lead now and 4 races to do it. But we joked before, it's either going to be a Mark or an Abbott for this championship, and who knows?
Ian, congratulations on your win in the Club Sport class. How did the race go for you?
Thank you very much. Yes, very well. It's all about staying on the track, not going off at the end of the day. So, and a good day. I've got a few things sorted out. I'm much closer, as you see, in qualifying. So a really happy day, and I played my Joker. So who can complain?
Oh, you were a Joker as well?
Yes. Oh, yeah. So I like this circuit and do quite well there. So just a fantastic day.
Well, that's it for the Clubman's Cup here at Donington Park. We've seen some really exciting racing here today, and big congratulations to James Abbott, who has won the double and used his joker, so he's got double points as well and now leads the series. We hope you'll join us again next time in Anglesey, and thanks for watching.